This was a forced confession after severe torture of psychological torture, and that is why she confessed to crimes that she never has committed. As I said before, she was not part of the protest. She is a victim of scapegoating, and they went and arrested her at her workplace. And the Islamic Republic propaganda TV was trying to frame her as if she is a leader or something that there is no evidentiary support for.
While the US and Iran talk about a nuclear deal in Geneva, the government continues its crackdown and repression of the pro-democracy movement. The Iranian authorities are conducting mass arrests from workplaces and homes of people who did not even participate in the recent protests. Iranian state media is also airing the forced confessions of these people. Well, someone who's been swept up in this mayhem is Venuse, whose last name we are not using on the programme this morning. She is 28 years old and was arrested last month and put in solitary confinement. Her family has only just been allowed to see her and she has been denied legal support. We can now speak to Venuse's cousin, Tara, who's been in touch with her family inside Iran. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Can you explain what happened to Venuse? Because, it sounds like a horrendous ordeal. How has she been caught up in this?
Venuse is part of a minority religion called the Baha'i faith in Iran, and every time there is a uprising, whether it's political, whether it's economical, whether it's social, Baha'is are the first ones that get scapegoated by the system of the Islamic Republic. And my cousin, unfortunately, was one of those victims.
And we don't believe that she was protesting. Where was she taken from?
Absolutely. She was not protesting, and the Islamic Republic has claimed that they arrested her from her home, which is not true. She was actually arrested from her workplace by a group of plainclothes men, and there is actual videos and footage of her being taken away from the accounting firm that she was working at.
And do you know what happened to her next? How long ago was it that she was taken?
So it's been about 30 days. In fact, the first 15 days, her parents went to every judicial office, every, different places to see if they could find their child. And everywhere they went, the response was, we do not have her here. She's not on file. We don't know. But after 15 days, they were notified that she is in a solitary confinement in Kerman, which is where the family currently lives. So unfortunately, for the first 15 days, the family were not able to know where her whereabouts were because she was taken to an unknown location.
And she was forced into a confession, which has this been used in some way by the regime?
Absolutely. This was a forced confession after severe torture of psychological torture, and that is why she confessed to crimes that she never has committed. As I said before, she was not part of the protest. She is a victim of scapegoating, and they went and arrested her at her workplace. And the Islamic Republic propaganda TV was trying to frame her as if she is a leader or something that there is no evidentiary support for.
And so do we know what will happen to her now? Does her family have any control? Are they able to give her legal support?
So unfortunately, given the fact that she is Baha'i, but also given the current situation in Iran, she does not have access to her own lawyer, meaning her family cannot go and hire a lawyer. The only lawyer that they have access to is the Islamic Republic's judicial system lawyer. And unfortunately, those lawyers are known to historically create narratives that have zero evidentiary support and make those cases even more difficult than they were. So unfortunately, no, she does not have access to a lawyer that could actually represent her in this situation.
So is the reality for Venuse that she is now stuck in this confinement with no prospect of being released anytime soon?
So around 2 days ago, on February 15th, she was transferred to prison and from the solitary confinement. But yes, exactly what you were saying, because they do not have access to a proper lawyer, we do not know how long this process is going to take.
Just finally, I mean, obviously we're talking about this in the context of those discussions between the US and Iran. They focus largely on nuclear politics, and there is a great deal of frustration, I think, that there hasn't been much progress made in those talks. What is your message for the international community, given what is happening to Venuse?
You know, I will not be talking about politics. I'm only here to talk about my cousin and the humanitarian crisis that is happening to everybody in Iran, including my own family. My message to the world is, you know, regardless of our ideologies, regardless of our religion, regardless of our beliefs, this is a humanitarian cause that we all can get behind, and we all can support wrongful detained prisoners who, you know, there is no actual evidence as to why they are in prison, and we can all get behind supporting these individuals because they all have families, and all their families are worried about their whereabouts and what has happened to them. You know, for the past 30 days, I have not been able to talk to my own cousin. I don't know what has happened to her, and I know that I'm not alone. I know there are so many families who are going through the same thing, and I just ask the world to have more compassion and to share our stories. There's also a petition that they can sign and help us in that way.
Well, Tara, you've made the case very strongly here this morning. Thank you for giving us your time on the programme.
Thank you.